Hello, good morning, lovely yogis. At least I'm assuming it's the morning where you are because you've clicked on this video, which I'm calling Rise and Shine Vinyasa. So we're going to get ourselves woken up, get the blood flowing, get our muscles working, get feeling good. So if you do enjoy this video, I would be super duper grateful if you could give it a big thumbs up to let me know that you enjoyed it. You can also comment with any thoughts, any requests, any suggestions, and of course don't forget to subscribe if you've not done so already so that we can practice together again very soon. Without further ado, we will begin in any version of a comfortable seat that is calling to you today. So take the option that feels good for you. And that is true both now and through the rest of our practice. Everything I say is optional. Take the version of a pose that works for you. Make something up, add things on, take things out. So now that you are in your comfortable seat, I'll invite you to softly close the eyes. And start to notice your breathing. This might be the first time all day that you've stopped to notice your breath after spending the whole night unaware of it. Is it soft, shallow, smooth, deep? No right or wrong answer, just noticing. And I will invite you to breathe in and out through the nose, tugging on the ends of each inhale and each exhale to make them a little bit longer, a bit smoother, softer, deeper. Sending the breath deep down into the belly. You might place one hand on your stomach and one hand on your heart to feel your belly rise and fall with every breath, and to notice your heart beating. Three more deep breaths here on your own, at your own pace. And now take 3 deep releasing breaths in through the nose and then sigh it out through the mouth. Don't be scared to make some noise. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. As you are ready, roll over onto your hands and knees, tabletop position, spreading through the fingers, maybe rocking back and forwards for a few moments to warm up the wrists, stacking the hips over the knees, and finding one nice long line from the crown of the head to the tip of the tailbone. So even though this is a pose we return to quite a lot, it might still need some thought to keep yourself nice and engaged. So not locking out through the elbows, not collapsing into the stomach, engaging the core, engaging the arms, and begin to take some cat-cow. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, lift the gaze, lift the chest, lift the hips. Exhale, draw the hips, the chin, the gaze all inwards. Fill those lungs, shine the collarbones forwards, and empty the lungs, arching through the spine. 3 more on your own, finding the fluidity. One move, flowing seamlessly into the next. You can tell it's early in the morning as I obviously cannot speak yet. My brain is still a bit of a mush. Now take the hands a few inches or a few feet forwards and roll yourself forwards down onto the belly into a high cobra pose. Hands are roughly in line with the ribs, chest is shining forwards, rooting down through the thighs, and then press into the hands and knees, send the hips back towards the heels, child's pose. Inhale, come forwards into your up dog. Exhale, round it back, child's pose. As you come forward, try and snake your way, rounding the spine down to the earth. And then as you come back, round the spine up to the sky. Inhale, slide forward, snake it through. Exhale, round it back. 2 more. Moving with your breath. And now next time you come back to your child's pose, just take a few minutes here, a few moments, wiggling the hips from side to side. Knees can be together or as wide as the mat. Soften the shoulders away from the ears if they've hunched up. Now once again, slide back forwards into your high cobra. Gaze over the left shoulder, back towards the left heel, back through centre. Gaze over the right shoulder, back towards the right heel, back through centre. Tuck under the toes, lift the thighs off the earth, press yourself back, downward facing dog. Take a few moments to pedal out through the legs here. Find some freedom in the pose. Find what works for you. Maybe wiggling the hips from side to side. Maybe finding movement in the chest, the shoulders, the arms. Connecting to your body, connecting to your breath. On your next inhale, round yourself forwards into a plank, and then exhale, snake your way back, downward dog. Inhale, round it forwards. Exhale, snake it back. Rounding the spine, chin into the chest as you come forwards, and then bend into the knees, send the hips back up, downward dog. Now reverse that pattern, so as you come forwards, bend into the knees, snake forwards, and then round your way back. Snake it forwards, bending the elbows, up dog, round it back, downward dog. One more time, snaking your way through to up dog, rounding your way back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come up onto the toes and start to wiggle yourself from side to side. Bend into the knees, putting the weight into the toes, stretching through the soles of the feet. And as you're ready, either step or hop your way forwards into a forward fold at the top of the mat. Bending into one leg at a time, opening up through the hamstrings. On your next breath in, press the hands into the floor, the shins or the quads, come up to a flat back, and exhale, soften back down into a fold. Bend the knees deeply. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, find cactus, elbows into the ribs. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Bend the knees, rise all the way up as you breathe in. Cactus as you breathe out. Fill the lungs, extend the arms to the sky, and empty the lungs, bring the arms down to the earth. Inhale, flat back, nice long line from the crown of the head to the tip of the tailbone. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, cactus, maybe take a little baby back bend. Inhale, arms up. exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Now this time, plant both hands on the mat, step one foot at a time, back to your plank, and then take it straight back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, come up onto the toes, bend the knees. Exhale, hop it forwards to your fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Picking up the pace here with our sun salutations. Inhale all the way up. This time exhale all the way down, bending the knees. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step one foot at a time, back to your plank. This time lower all the way down onto the belly. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, release, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, hop it forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Bend the knees as you rise all the way up to standing and release down into your fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, either step or jump back, maybe working through a chaturanga or working down through a cobra pose. The option is yours. Take it back to downward dog on your next exhale. On your next inhale, prepare, bending the knees, and then hop it forwards to your fold. Deep breath in, halfway lift. Deep breath out, release. Inhale all the way up to standing. Exhale all the way down to your fold. Fill the lungs, come up to your flat back, and last time here, you can step back, you can hop back, you can maybe add on a crow pose if you're feeling up for it. Totally optional. So if you're joining me in crow, finding the balance for a few moments and then shooting those legs to the back of the mat, landing in a chaturanga, inhaling to up dog, exhaling to down dog. Take a moment here in your downward facing dog, reconnect to your breath and to your body if you lost that connection. Are you still breathing in and out through the nose? As you are ready, once again, inhale to prepare, and this time exhale, hop it forwards, landing in a Malasana, so feet to the outside of the hands, palms pressing together at heart center, elbows pressing into the knees, and just take a moment, wiggling it out here, moving from side to side, or maybe just finding stillness if that's what's calling to you today. As you're ready, bring the left hand to the right ankle, sweep the right arm up towards the sky, sending the breath into the right side of the body, opening up. Release, bring the right hand to the left ankle, sweep the left arm all the way up to the sky, opening the body, creating more space for that air. Release, come back through center, and then option to rise up to standing without using the hands to help. So bring the hands to the opposite shoulders and then rise all the way up to standing, hands free. Finding a little bit of heat in the hips there. Give everything a little bit of a wiggle. Bring the feet to hip width apart, all 10 toes facing roughly forwards, or they might be pointing out at a slight angle depending on your anatomy and what feels good in your body. Root down through the right foot, bring the left knee into the chest. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, twist the upper body to the left, sending the left arm back, the right arm forwards, finding one nice long line of energy through the fingertips, extending in opposite directions. Take another breath here in your twist, and then keeping the upper body exactly as it is, step the left toes all the way to the back of the mat and land in a warrior two. Look down at your feet. Make sure that the heel of your front foot is in line with the arch of your back foot. And notice whether you're collapsing into that back arch. If so, try and press into the outer edge of that left foot. Really find some energy in the legs here. Find some energy in the arms. Energy from the crown of the head to the tip of the tailbone. Notice how your mind reacts to the challenge of holding this pose. Take one more deep breath here. And on your next inhale, straighten the front leg, bring the hands to touch overhead, and exhale, sink it back down. Inhale up, exhale back down. One more time, inhale, straighten the leg, bring the hands to touch, exhale, sink it back down. This time find reverse warrior, sending that right arm towards the back of the room. Take another deep breath into that right lung. And breathe out, side angle. Either bringing the right elbow onto the right knee, the right hand down to the earth, whichever option works for you. You can extend the left arm out in front or reach it up to the sky. And then the other option is to take a bind around that right leg. So wrapping the right arm under the thigh, left arm behind your back to reach for the right. Keep breathing. If you've got the bind, release the right hand down to the earth, sweep the left arm up to the sky, and then bring the left hand down and pop off that left heel as you sweep the right arm up to the sky. So landing in an easy twist here. Its name may be easy twist, but that doesn't mean it will be easy for you. You might be feeling fire in the legs, in the arms, in the core. Take another breath in here, and as you breathe out, land in revolved Skandasana. So rolling onto the outer edge of both feet, dropping the left hip down towards the earth. Extending that right arm to the back of the room. Really, really feeling that stretch down the outside edge of that right leg. As you're ready, unravel into Skandasana on the right leg. So spinning all the way around. Left toes point up to the sky. Right knee is bent. The right heel does not have to touch the mat. Hands can be at heart center. Fingertips can be on the mat. Or arms can reach up towards the sky. Opening up through the inner thighs here. Take one more deep breath. And then bring the hands to the earth, frame that front foot, spin round into a low lunge. Option to bring the fingers to interlace around that right toe, the big toe, and then open up into a side plank with the bind. If that doesn't feel good for you, you can just step the right foot to land on top of the left in a side plank. If you've got that right foot, option to challenge yourself to let go of it and keep it just as lifted, finding the strength. Whoop. You can release at any time. And then rock yourself back to a plank. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then either take it straight back to down dog or work through a vinyasa. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, down dog. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, hop it back forward to your Malasana. Toes pointing out at an angle, hands together at heart center. Once again, bring the left hand to the right ankle, sweep the right arm up to the sky, and then swap it over. Right hand to left ankle, left arm all the way up. Come back through centre. Once again, cross the hands over the shoulders, finding the opposite cross if you can remember which one you did before, and then rising up to standing, releasing the hands, bringing the feet to hip width apart, and just have a little shimmy shake out. On your next breath in, draw the right knee up in towards the chest, sweep the arms all the way to the sky. Twist the upper body to the right, extending left arm forwards, right arm back. And take a deep breath here, rooting down through the left foot, reaching through the crown of the head. And then keeping the upper body just as it is, send the right toes all the way to the back of the mat, land in a warrior two. Once again, checking that alignment with the feet and noticing whether your upper body is travelling forwards or travelling back, finding that alignment with head over heart over hips. And settle in for a few deep breaths here in your warrior two. Notice whether your front knee is collapsing either inwards or outwards. Try and have that front knee in line with the first and second toe. One more breath here in your warrior two. And then inhale, straighten that leg, bring the palms to touch overhead. Exhale, sink it back down. Deep breath in, straighten, deep breath out, sink. One more time, fill the lungs as you rise up, touch the palms, and empty the lungs as you sink back down. Deep breath in, reverse warrior. Just pause here for an extra beat, feeling that opening in the left side body. And use your next exhale to land in extended side angle, taking whichever option works for you with the arms. And maybe you take the bind here, totally optional. Only taking what feels good in your body and what enables you to breathe. Release from the bind if you've got it. Bring the right hand down, the left arm up, pop off that right heel, coming into your easy twist. Notice whether you're locking out that right elbow, try and soften it to find the engagement instead of just collapsing into the joint. Take another deep breath in, extend that left arm even higher, and then breathe out, dropping down into revolve Skandasana, rolling onto the outer edges of both feet, dropping that right hip down, extending the left arm to the back of the room. And your pose might not look like mine, that is totally okay. As you are ready, spin yourself round into Skandasana, bending the left leg, pointing the right toes to the sky, and taking whichever arm variation works for you. Trying to keep the chest nice and lifted, nice and open, rather than collapsing and hunching over. As you're ready, unravel, framing that front foot, coming into a low lunge, and then either stepping straight back to side plank or binding that left big toe and opening up into a bound side plank. If you've got the bind, release it, try and keep that leg just as lifted. And then drop that left foot down to meet the right, hold your plank for just a few more moments, and then spin yourself round into traditional plank, and let's take some rocks here on the wrist, so rocking back and forwards on the toes. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Either work through a chaturanga or take it straight back to downward dog. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Deep breath in through the nose, and option to sigh it out through the mouth. On your next breath in, prepare, and your next breath out, hop it forwards, Malasana. This time, cross the arms straight onto the shoulders, rise all the way up to standing. Bring those feet to hip width apart once again. This time, we draw the left knee into the chest, reach the arms straight up, and the option now is to play around with straightening that left leg and then twisting the upper body to the left, reaching the right hand for the outside edge of that left foot. If that does not work for you, then you can come to the same variation that we did before. Both are just as fabulous as the other. Connecting to your breath, connecting to your balance. Option is once again to step straight back to warrior 2, or release the grip on that left foot and windmill your way open into half moon. Left arm reaches up to the sky, right arm reaches down to the earth, finding the energy. You can bring the right hand down onto the mat, or you can hover it off for a little extra challenge. And then as you're ready, once again, whoop, land in your warrior 2. Maybe gracefully, maybe not. And we're not going to hold it this time, so inhale, straighten the leg, arms touch, exhale, sink it down. 2 more, inhale, straighten, exhale, sink. Fly that warrior 1 more time, and then sink it back down. Inhale, find the reverse, exhale, side angle once again. Option to stay in your side angle, option to take the bind, and then option to straighten that front leg with the bind coming into a bound triangle, or you can come into triangle without the bind. So straightening that right leg, bringing the right hand down and the left arm up, or joining me in binding around that straightened right leg. If you've got the bind, release it. Bring the right hand down to the earth, sweep the left arm up to the sky, and bend back into that right leg. Now bring left hand down and pop off that left heel as you sweep the right arm up to the sky. Easy twist. Once again, the option is to stay here or to straighten that front leg. So we're in a revolved triangle pose here. Parivrita Trikonasana. And then spin yourself from whatever your option you were in into a revolved Skandasana. Pause here for just a moment this time, and then spin all the way around into your Skandasana. Now we're going to travel from the right leg onto the left, either with fingertips on the mat at heart center or up overhead, traveling to the left, back to the right, over to the left. Keep it flowing at your own pace, moving with your breath and with your body. One more time on each side, and then pop yourself all the way back into a low lunge on that right leg at the front of the mat, and once again grab hold of that right foot or the right toe, spin yourself into that side plank, then release that right leg and carry on travelling all the way over into a wild thing. Totally optional. Bringing the right toes to rest on the earth, straightening that left leg. And then spinning back around into your plank, holding here, this time for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and make your way back to downward dog, either via chaturanga or just taking it straight back. Take a full cycle of breath to reset before we move on to the other side. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, hop it forwards to Malasana. Cross the hands over the shoulders and rise up to standing. Release the arms, bring the feet to hip width apart, and then draw that right knee in towards the chest as you reach the arms up overhead. Option to twist the upper body to the right just as it is, or to bring the left hand to the outside of the right foot and then straighten that leg. Take a few moments here. Maybe you fall out of the pose and you come back in. Maybe you are wobbling around like mad. And then option to release that leg. Hold it out straight for just a second and then windmill your way into a half moon. Bringing the left hand down, the right arm up. Maybe you hover the left hand off the earth for a little extra challenge. Whoop. Finding length through both sides of the waist here, so not collapsing into that left side. One more deep breath here. And then land all the way in your warrior two, bending into that left leg, adjusting the stance as you need to. Inhale, fly the warrior. Exhale, sink it down. 2 more. Inhale, fly the warrior. Exhale, sink it down. Deep breath in, straighten. Deep breath out, sink it in. And now fill the lungs as you stretch back and empty the lungs as you come forwards. Option once again, take that bind around the leg and then come into a bound triangle, or you can stay in your side angle or come into traditional triangle. Only taking the bind if you can still keep your chest nice and open and lifted. If you've got the bind, release it, bring the left hand down, the right arm up, and then bend back into that left knee. Bring the right hand down, bring the left arm up, pop off that back heel, easy twist. And then option to straighten that front leg into our revolved triangle. Are you still breathing? And whichever version you're in, spin yourself round into your revolved Skandasana and then take it into Skandasana. Then take those travels from one leg to the other with whichever arm variation works for you and at whichever pace works for you. One more on each side, and then spin yourself into a low lunge at the front of the mat, bending into that left knee, finding the bind around the left big toe, or stepping it straight back to your side plank. Release that bind and flip yourself into a wild thing. And then land back in your plank, and for the last time today, let's take those rocks. Micro bend the elbows if you're locking them out, which is something I do far too often, but I'm working on it. for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to your plank and then back to downward dog, however you want to get there. Last chance for a chaturanga if you fancy it. And then descending into your downward dog. Descending, I should say ascending. Option to just drop down to the knees and swing the legs out in front to come down to seated, or to find the jump through, lifting up onto the toes, bending into the knees and then flying the legs through between the hands, coming down to a seated position. Find your Dandasana, pointing the toes up to the sky, stacking head over heart over hips. And then bring the right foot to stamp on the outside of the left knee. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. Exhale, twist to the right, giving that left knee a hug. Option is to hook the elbow to the outside of the knee. And then another option is to straighten that left arm, reach it around for the inside edge of the right foot. Really send the breath deep down into the belly. Unravel yourself, maybe take a baby counter twist in the other direction, and then let the right foot carry on travelling to the outside of the left hip. Bring the left foot to the right hip, landing in our cow face legs. Your pose might not look like mine. The knees do not have to be stacking. There might be a gap in between them. If this feels like enough, you can stay here. Or if you want to take it a little bit further, you can start to fold down over the legs, but keeping a nice long spine as you fold. Draw yourself back up as you draw your next breath into the lungs, and then unravel the legs as we make our way to the other side. So rooting down through the left leg, stamping the left foot to the outside, rooting down through all of the left toes. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. Exhale, give that left knee a nice little hug. Take whichever arm variation works for you on this side. Remembering that we are not symmetrical people and we do not live symmetrical lives, so one side might feel very different from the other. Notice whether your right leg has gone a bit dead. Try and bring some life to it, flexing those toes back towards your face. Unravel yourself, take that baby counter twist, and then let that left foot carry on travelling towards the right hip. Bring the right foot in towards the left hip. Gomukhasana. Option to just spend the whole time here, upright, if that feels good for you. We'll all take a few breaths here with a nice long upright spine. And the option, if it feels good, is to start to fold down over the legs. As you are ready, press yourself back upright, unravel the legs, bring the soles of the feet to touch, let the knees drop out to the sides. Badakanasana, one of my favourite poses ever. I don't think a day goes by where I don't do a Badakanasana at some point. Once again, option is to inhale, find some length, and exhale, maybe start to fold down over the legs. You can press the elbows into the legs to open up the hips even further, or you can just keep it nice and gentle. Draw yourself back up as you draw in your next breath. Stamp both feet on the earth, knees pointing up to the sky. Extend the fingertips out long. Slowly roll yourself down onto your back, keeping a nice long spine. Connecting to our core on our way down, and then landing on your back. Hug the knees into the chest, rooting down through the hips and the shoulders, giving yourself a nice big squeeze. And then option to take whatever poses are calling to you to finish our practice. So you might take some big circles with the knees in both directions. You might take some twists. You might take a happy baby. Any other movement that will enable you to then settle into stillness. And land in whatever version of Shavasana is calling to you today, as I always offer up. Option for the traditional version, letting the feet flop out, softening the legs into the earth. Or the option is for a Supta Badakanasana, or a constructive rest pose with the feet stamped to the outside of the mat and the knees resting on each other. Take whichever version enables you to find the most stillness, both physically and mentally. I will give you the option of bringing one hand to the belly and one hand to the heart if you've not done so already. Just like we did at the start. One hand on the belly to help us notice our breathing as the belly rises and falls. And one hand to the heart to help us notice our heartbeat. Take a quick scan of the body, or a slow scan, doesn't have to be quick. Just noticing any areas of tension that are still resisting this softness and this surrendering. Can you send the breath into those areas to dissolve that tension, melting into the mat? And we'll take 10 breaths here in our Shavasana in silence on our own. Once you have done your 10 breaths, start to bring some gentle movement back to the body, taking whatever movement your body is calling for today, before slowly making your way back up to a comfortable seat, just like we began at the start. Option to keep the eyes closed as we seal our practice with 3 deep releasing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Open the eyes if they are not already and return to the room that you are in. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. If you did enjoy this class, like I said at the start, I would be really, really happy if you could leave any comments, any likes, and subscribe to my channel so that you can flow together with me, hopefully very soon. Have a wonderful day and sending you lots of love.